Today we're going to speak about the boring subject of compound interest and how you can become a millionaire by just investing small amounts of money over a regular long period of time. In the video we're going to talk about what simple and compound interest is. We'll look at why compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world and do a quick simple versus compound just to show you the difference that investing and compounding really does make. And we'll just do a very quick example as well. Hope that sounds good, because I wish I'd started earlier. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Mark of Desperately Seeking Fi. So first of all, what is simple interest? Simple interest is basically the interest you have on what we call the principal, so that amount of money. So if you had £1,000 and you were getting 5% interest, the simple interest you would get would be £50 per year. And that would be £50 in the first year, £50 in the second year, £50 in the third year. So it would go 1,050, 1,100, 1,150. Just continue. So I hear you say, what is compound interest then? Compound interest is interest that is calculated on the principal plus the amount of interest you have already earned. Therefore, the amount of money that you earn interest on increases every year, and it starts off very small, just like an acorn, and it grows into a massive tree. But what does that take? It takes time to do that, and what we'll show you later on is an example that will take you through what compound interest really does look like. Here is just a quick quote on compound interest, allegedly said by Albert Einstein, but Jews are out on that. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. And Warren Buffett even said, my wealth has come through a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest. Before we jump in and do a quick example or two, let's have a look at what realistically might be an interest rate return that you could achieve. So with the S&P 500, according to the Motley Fool, we are looking at the S&P 500 has increased an average of 10.7% per year over the last 30 years. That's great. And let's look slightly closer to home and look at the FTSE 100, which has been in existence since 1984. Through its 40-year history has returned an average of approximately 8.9. So I'm going to forget about all of that, and I'm going to put in an average of 7% initially to see what your growth, your compound interest growth could be over a period of time. The calculatorsite.com is the tool that I like to use to try and figure out how does compound interest and many other types of interest actually work. We can go in and we can have a quick look. Click on the finance tab, come down to the compound interest, and let's run a few figures. What we said is let's start with no initial investment, and then let's take that 7%, and let's say this is an 18-year-old who has listened to parents' advice and is going to start investing, and they want to invest until they are 60 years old, and they're going to put in £200 per month because they've just got a job and still living at home, so they can afford to do that. The deposit's going to be made at the beginning of each period. Let's just calculate that over an annual basis. So this is only putting in £200 per month. We've got that 7% annual rate of interest, and let's see what that actually looks like. So in our first year, the interest that we get is £91. Second year is £265. As we see, at 10 years, the interest that is being earned on this amount of money going in is almost £2,200. So that is going up. Remember, the simple calculation would have been you'd have only been getting £91 every single year coming in as your interest. Let's see what happens when we look at time. So we go to 20 years, there's £6,600 coming in compound interest. We go to 30 years and we've got over £15,000 coming in. We go to 40 years and we've got £32,000 of interest coming in. That could be your wage that you want. And in reality, at the age of 60, this 18-year-old would have almost £575,000 built up as their nest egg to enjoy their retirement. Let's see what this looks like on a graph. We basically have down this bottom end, we see that it is starting to slowly increase. That green line shows you how much money you have put in. Look at when you start to get that break and that exponential growth. The longer you are in the game and the longer that you are compounding your interest, look at what it does. Let's remember back, the FTSE gave us 8.9%. So let's say you had just gone and invested in a FTSE 100 tracker. What might that have done? Do you remember? 575,000 on that original idea. Look at that. Future investment, 42 years, jumps by having that small change in the interest from 7 to 8.9%. We jump up to a fraction under the million. Look at what you put in. You put in 100,000, you've almost 10x that. I'd take a 10x any day. And it shows stay there for the long time. What else could we do? Let's say we actually want to increase this. If you think about it, as you progress through your employment life, you're likely to start getting pay increases. So let's say we did a 5% increase per year. What difference does this make? We see by 5% increase every year, we're almost doubling the amount of money through this investment. So we do actually put in a lot more in your actual investment, but look at that, 1.8 million. I'd take 1.8 million. I think you probably would as well. And let's run the figures. If we were to invest in a low-cost tracker like VUSA, where we're getting 10.7% per year. So let's look at investing into something like VUSA. I'm going to hit that button. And what do we think the figure is going to be? It's going to be 1.67 million for your 100,000. So that's 16 times the return that you would get. This obviously doesn't take into account anything to do with inflation, which at the moment is sky high and through the roof. It really does show that compound interest is all about time. The longer you invest for, and you have that patience to just leave it there and allow that magic of compound interest to just take off and grow and grow and grow your wealth, you can enjoy it when you then decide that it's time, put the feet up and chill out and look for that financial independence side of things. That's my dream. I just wish that I'd started a little bit earlier. But what I am doing is I am helping my kids through this. What I'm going to do is chart their progress and see how compound interest will help them actually move forward. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, love it if you could smash the like button and think about leaving a comment. Think about how long, what's your horizon, what's your figure that you're trying to work towards before you can put your feet up. Why don't you have a look at this video, because I think it may give you a couple of ideas of low cost ETFs that you can invest into to grow your wealth and retire when you want to.